everyone. I'm Angela Garino-Sawaya, the Ward 5 Councilor. I want to welcome you to tonight's meeting. This is important that we're all here and we all know what's happening in our neighborhoods. With me tonight, who initiated this entire meeting, is Tom Skorsky, the Chief Planner for Planning and Development for the City of Revere, and Julie DeMauro, the Transportation Coordinator. If anybody needs a seat, there are 6 seats up here available, so you can come down here and sit, and please ask whatever questions you need to ask. I just want everyone to be informed. You know what my motto is, everybody needs to know what's going on. So let's try to be one at a time if possible, and not attack if we can help it. And I would really appreciate that. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Councilor. And good to see so many of you tonight that we've seen in previous meetings at the Twin Pines Yacht Club. It's wonderful to be here in this beautiful new community space that hopefully we have many great events with you all to come. As the Councilor had mentioned, and actually even before that, I'm grateful for you hosting this meeting and making sure the word got out to the neighborhood, because your mantra is our mantra as well. You know, we had committed at the Point Pines Yacht Club way back when that we would have a meeting pre-construction before we got started, and we want to, you know, take an opportunity to give an overview of the phases of construction, both for this project, but also talk about some of the other things that'll be happening in the future. But hopefully this is just another touch point in a continuous form of communication with you all. I believe there's a sign-in sheet.
Yep, at the back, there's several sign-in sheets, so everybody should sign in.
And we'll talk about other ways to get involved and ensure continuous lines of communication on this project, but certainly the sign-in sheet is a good first start. So I'm going to kick things off and then hand it over to our engineers at Howard Stein Hudson. We also have our team, Alden A here, the contractor who will be working on this project. As the Councilor had mentioned, we're going to do a quick overview and go over the phases, and then there'll be plenty of time for questions both about this project and in the second phase of the presentation, questions related to Gibson Park and Gibson Park Access Road and some of the other things that are outside of the scope of what we're here tonight for, which is the roundabout. But you got me here, we're all here in a room, so we should talk about that stuff as well. So we're joined here by Julie and myself, and the team at Aaron Pacella, Richard, Ben, and Justin. If you guys could just raise your hands. And Howard Stein Hudson, we have Robbie Burgess and Christina Malakon, who will be presenting tonight. So just a quick overview of the agenda. We'll talk about construction phasing. We'll talk about traffic impacts of this project, which we hope to be relatively minimal. And we'll dig into the construction schedule. It will be a long project, and we'll talk about how all the phasing will build out over the next year and a half. And then get to how to stay engaged with this work in the future. And then we'll take any questions that are pertinent to the roundabout project. After that, Howard Stein Hudson will hand it back to me, and we'll talk a little bit about the Gibson Park Access Road, which will be an access road coming off the roundabout to allow folks to access the park. And then we will talk about the Gibson Park updates itself, which we have a project separate to this, but of course connected. Different contractor who's working on that. We're still working through the contracting with them. We haven't signed a contract yet, which means we don't have the full construction phasing ahead of us, but I at least can tell you in terms of what to expect in the next 18 months on that project and answer any questions you might have today that I could relay to the contractors. So next time in a month or two, when we sit here and have the same conversation about Gibson Park, I can anticipate those questions and make sure we come prepared. So at that, I'm going to hand things over to Christine to talk about the roundabout project.
Thanks. As Tom mentioned, my name is Christina Malakon with Howard Stein Hudson. We're working with the city to assist with project management of the project throughout construction. So here is shown in orange the overall limits of the project. It includes the southbound off and on ramps and the intersection of the ramps with Linway. No work is proposed on the 1A bridge over the ramps. The first phase of construction includes the construction of the new on-ramp, Ramp B, the demolition of the slip lane from the Linway and the construction of the northern portion of the roundabout. This is phase 1A, and it will last about 32 weeks. The second phase of phase 1A, 1B, this is the demolition of the partial median on the existing ramps and the sidewalk construction on the Linway. And phase 1B should last about 3 weeks. Phase 2 includes the construction of the new off-ramp, ramp A, and the construction of the shared use path from the Linway along the roundabout area. Phase 2 estimated duration is 31 weeks. Phase 3 includes the construction of the leg of the roundabout to Gibson Point, the demolition of the existing off-ramp, and the construction of the median splitter islands for the roundabout.
Okay, thank you.
Phase 3 estimated duration is 13 weeks. Phase 4 includes the construction of the inner circle of the roundabout and the driveway reconstruction at the Gibson Point access from Route 1A. This phase will last about 4 weeks. And the final phase of construction will be split into 2 phases as well, and will include the sidewalk construction connection to Gibson Park and the sidewalk demolition under the bridge. The overall duration of phase 5 is estimated at 7 weeks. The major impacts to traffic will include off and on-ramp closures. These closures will be limited to overnight durations between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. and will include signage for the detours as approved by MassDOT. All detours and ramp closures will be alerted on Mass 511 and City of Revere 311 prior to implementation. The detour for the on-ramp closure will guide people or vehicles onto Route 1A northbound into Lynn and a U-turn at, I think it's, Harding Street. U-turn at Harding Street, and then you'll continue on to Route 1A southbound. And then the detour for the off-ramp closure will keep you on Route 1A southbound, turn right at Archer Ave, left on Mills Ave, and then continue left onto Route 1A northbound. And vehicles will then be able to use the existing off-ramp to access the Linway. The construction schedule is shown here with the construction phasing as mentioned earlier. The estimated project completion date is November of 2027. And then some contact information for the project. We do have a project-specific email that's shown here that you can email any questions to. You can also contact Julie directly. Her email is also listed.
And I would just say, if you did put your email in a sign-in sheet, and we don't have yours already, I know looking at some faces here, we have at least some of your emails, but at the last meeting, some of you wrote in your emails, but then we got bounce backs because I think we couldn't decipher the handwriting. And I'm guilty as charged too, my handwriting's awful. But if you could email one of those 2 email addresses, preferably Julie's, and request to be added to our mailing list, we'll make sure to keep you in the loop in the future for any updates on the project.
Yeah, if you email me directly, that's the best way to ensure that I have your email correct.
Okay, that was a quick overview of the construction staging, but I think we'll go to questions.
Happy to take any questions you may have.
So we'll have some questions.
Project start. I see the completion. When does this all start?
The project is, they're beginning to mobilize on the site and they're clearing some of the brush in preparation for upcoming utility construction. So effectively, the project has started already last week.
Are you doing debris removal on the other side? Because I noticed like on the park side, all the trees were coming down and things, but on the other side, which buffers my house, of the roadway, nothing's been done. Is anything going to be done on that side as well, as far as clearing trees and whatnot?
On the northbound side.
Right, I mean, if you, here's the park, here's the work that you guys were doing on the other side of the road. There's all trees and things on that access road that people have been accessing for utilities and things like that, and as a Verizon. But nothing's been done on that side. I was wondering if that was included or not.
I don't think that side is, it's mostly on the.
What street are you on?
I'm on the Linway.
You're on the
I'm on the
Linway?
Linway,
Okay.
and it's right on the back access road of my backyard. So if you're looking at the overpass,
Like on this side?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so if it's not highlighted in green,
It's not being
it's not
touched.
within the project area.
Do you have any idea who I would talk to about
So,
culling some of that? Because it's all trash and critters and everything else.
We could connect you to MassDOT District 4, because if it falls in the MassDOT District 4, they have to go on their list for cleanup, but we
Yeah.
can
Okay.
certainly connect you to that.
Thank you,
They're pretty responsive too to that
Yep.
kind of.
thank you.
and if you're not hearing from them after repeated attempts, although I agree that you're responsive, you can always let us know and we can bug somebody else if we have to.
Yeah.
In back?
What's going to be the pedestrian access to Gibson Park from Point of Pines during phase one?
During phase one, it will remain unchanged.
Is the sidewalks going to be completely open? Because I'm seeing green there, that's along where the
Oh,
sidewalks
you
are,
mean
right?
right
Well,
in this-
no, like, if you go down to the triangle green, where the Linway is, and you're walking up, you're walking up, how do you get to, is that sidewalk going to be accessible?
There should be a temporary pedestrian pathway
Okay.
that will be accessible.
Yes, the project has a full traffic management plan. We're just kind of doing the overview and showing, trying to show from a high level the construction phasing. So associated with this phase is a set of traffic management plans, including traffic control devices like cones and signs and directing pedestrians where to go. And
Okay.
the contractor is, their area is defined as well so that they don't encroach on pedestrian areas. So,
Yeah, I was just wondering if we still be able to access that way, because we have kids who use the park, or we have to cross 1A down the alley.
Be able to access it. And if there's any temporary issues where you're having problems with that, that's what our emails are for too, so let us know. Yes.
How are you addressing the speed of the cars coming off during the construction? There's been a lot of speeding both on the Linway and on the back road, so it gets very harrowing trying to cross the street.
Yeah,
So is
yeah.
that through signs or?
Well, I mean, part of it is what we're doing here with the slip lane removal, right?
Yeah.
And I think that will have a big impact, because I parked like right here tonight, so as I was walking over, it's like you're playing a game of Frogger trying to get
Yeah.
across in the moments that you have. Cars will have to stop and slow down and take a moment as they're turning onto the laneway, so that's the longer term answer to your question. When this first phase is done, that will hopefully start to change that behavior, and that's the goal there. I don't know if Julia.
Yeah, during construction, the traffic management plan has a lot of signage and flashing lights to try to communicate to drivers that there's a change condition with the hope that they will slow down. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but that's the intent.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, the rotary itself, is it gonna be capable of 2 lanes or just a single lane of traffic
At the end,
in the circle?
in the end, it's a single lane.
So in the event that there's any kind of a backup anywhere, how does first responders get by if they need to?
Well, it would be like any other one-lane road, effectively. They move the vehicle out of the way or go around it.
I mean, that's, my point is, okay, safety, and then the other thing is, I travel that road every day. Okay, if for some reason there's a backup on one of the egresses from that circle, what happens? We're all stuck there, can we get around, can we move around the circle without getting held up by one side that's backed up?
Let me check. Usually we make it wide enough for a vehicle to break down and then, be able to get past it.
Right.
There's also mountable curbs.
Yeah, for emergency vehicles.
That's, yeah.
Right. So my question was kind of similar, was coming off the roundabout, coming into the, the Linway or into Point Pines. Is that a 2-lane exit onto North Shore Road or onto, that strip? Because some cars turn left, some cars turn right. And there's also a lot more big trucks coming around that roundabout now. Like, my company is in the old Grelick Farms place. We've got 30 containers, giant trucks every single month. And that's gonna come around going southbound back down to the Boston Port. So that's gonna be a lot of bigger vehicles coming down as well.
Well, we do use a large design vehicle to design the roundabout, and it's all reviewed by the Department of Transportation to match their design standards for roundabouts. So my assumption is that it would accommodate the larger vehicles. Excuse me, I know it would. After, in its final condition.
Okay. What about that left turn, right turn thing coming off that rotary?
Left turn.
You're talking about?
Yeah, right there. Because right now, obviously we've got that little slip, whatever you call it, coming off.
Right.
For people going right, but, which alleviates some of that congestion, but we've got people turning left and right coming out of it.
I can review that. My assumption is that it was reviewed as part of the design. It's 2 lanes?
Yeah.
Okay,
It
so
is
in the final condition, it's 2 lanes.
Okay. Thank you.
So I did this at the last meeting, but you can a lot of people often ask questions about exactly where this is happening. So I just did like a Google Earth overview of, existing conditions and new ones. And so zooming in here, you can see that there's a through and a left and then a dedicated right. I know it's not super, there we go, if that helps.
So it's 20.
At the end. Yes.
How are you going to enforce the overnight closures?
The question was about how we will be enforcing the overnight ramp closures, so.
The overnight ramp closures will be implemented in conjunction with Mass DOT. The contractor will notify the DOT. The DOT typically uses truck-mounted attenuators, flashing arrow panels, and state police troopers to effect the closure. So there'll be traffic control devices and police.
We have a problem with a lot of traffic and motorcycles spinning around with state police.
Hopefully that doesn't happen during the ramp closures.
You can call me. Call me, I'll go down there.
Yes.
In phase 4, on the Linway, you've got a solid line that goes through people's front yards.
I'm sorry, phase 4?
Yeah. Phase 4. Nope, come down a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Now, I see all the people on the Linway. Is there going to be a taking there?
Oh, no, this is just this is an overlay. It's only the things in the green are where work is taking place. So that's just to give a frame of reference. There isn't, except for this work right here, there's no work taking place on the laneway.
Why do you have an overlay?
It's part of it's part of the design. It's a GIS layer that we use to try to approximate where things are. It's not a survey line, it's...
Okay, because in front of that overlay, we've got how the properties exist now.
Yes.
Okay, and with that But with that overlay, I'm kind of confused why you put it there.
Yeah, I mean,
Because there's a pipeline that actually goes underneath that property that is state-owned.
But the whole Linway,
Uh-huh.
which is the shape of the
And I
properties?
only know that because I had to go through it 2 years ago with somebody's property that the city, they were doing some work when they were building the fire station. And the water line went underneath the property and it travels the entire length of the Linway on both sides.
That's where
Okay,
they
so that
release-
part of people's property actually belongs, I think it's to the state.
So is this an easement?
No.
I wouldn't look too
Not for us, it
deeply.
has nothing to do with this project. though.
If you just think of it like, we looked at a satellite image of the neighborhood, and we traced over where we didn't, no one here did, but on computers, right? They traced over where the property lines are approximately, where the roadway lines are approximately, and then that outline is what we use to then show where the work is taking place, right? But if it's not in green, you don't have to worry about it tonight. It's just a trace. It's just something that helps us form the foundation for our drawings. But it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean whose property is what. You can frankly disregard those portions of the drawing. It's not.
Are you going to be doing any work in front of the bus stop?
No,
Okay.
it's not green, and
Okay.
they are color coded, right? So if anything that's green is where work is taking place. If it's not green, work is not taking place.
So near where it's turning green, the circle itself, you know, you're going southbound towards Boston.
Okay.
That exit is not gonna be impacted, the exit to get back to the Point of Pines is not gonna be impacted. What time frame, if
Under
any?
this stage here?
Or just-
Or any of the stages, actually.
There will be points in time where there's impacts, and that will be in the evening. Evening hours
When you
only.
say evening, I think you mentioned the start.
9 PM to 5 AM.
9 p.m.
And so for the night closures, what our plan is our plan from the Department of Planning and Community Development is, when we've done this with other projects, projects that will impact parking, impact residents being able to get in and out of streets or anything like that, and I'm not saying that's happening here in this project. But what we do is we work with the contractor and we give everybody a 2-week look ahead so that you can plan accordingly. And for the night closures, we've talked about giving everybody in the area a 1-month look ahead, so you'll know that it is expected, weather permitting, schedule permitting, that a month from now, on this night, the ramps will be closed overnight and this detour will be in place. We're trying to make sure that any overnight closures, as long as it isn't an emergency, you'll get a 1-month notice prior to it happening. So that's the other reason why we want to get as many email addresses correct tonight, so that when we know what's happening, we can send it out to you. In the case that there's an emergency, something happens, there's an unforeseen condition out there on the roadway, we can email you too right away. Council Sawyer is also going to be on those emails. She's going to know first before the residents do, but that is our plan. So the emails that we're asking everybody to supply tonight will give you a 2-week look ahead, but for the road closures, ramp closures, that'll be a 1-month look ahead. You'll know about that 1 month prior.
So after 9 p.m. for this particular ramp 4, I guess it says, well, isn't that gonna, you have to continue on instead of taking the exit to get to the Pines? Is that gonna impact what is it, John Ave or what, that area? I mean, because at some point, we're gonna have to turn around to come back.
For the southbound lane or the northbound lane?
Southbound,
So if you were to go
when
southbound,
4 is closed, when ramp 4 is closed,
That was the right turn onto Archer and the left onto Newlands.
for the northbound, you'd have to go down to, all the way down the Linway into Lynn
And turn around.
and turn around.
turn around where? I'm sorry.
That's not the one you're referring to.
No, but I'd like to know about that one too.
Okay,
But
I mean-
my question is ramp 4.
So the original, the plan to essentially take a U-turn in Lynn by Harding Street is similar to what people often have to do today, right? So, to get back, if you're going into Gibson Way. So, do you want to talk about the other ramp?
Ramp 4, going southbound.
We're coming this way.
Yeah, no,
So
I
this
got
is-
you.
She's talking about how is it gonna impact
You're talking
us
about
coming
here.
from Lynn or coming from Boston, either
Right.
way. So if we're coming from Lynn, how are we going to get to this part when we
Right,
just come
right, right.
right down the
So-
ramp where the fire station is?
So that's if this were to be closed, you would go through here to get
So you
to,
would go down Archer, you go all the way down North Shore Road, and at the Archer
Up
Ave,
Archer.
you would take the right,
to have
you
Mills,
loop
and then
back
loop
around to Mills Ave, and at that light, you would either go left or you go right. Back northbound on Route 1A.
So at nighttime.
From
it's-
9 PM to 5
So
AM.
I'd have to go into Riverside in order to get into
That's
the
my
Point of
question.
Pines.
Correct.
Right.
In,
From 9
Though-
to 5, 9 PM to 5 AM.
9 o'clock to 9 AM.
Not during the day.
No, not during the
Is
day.
there gonna be any impact at all during the day?
We don't foresee it. The intent is, that's why I said relatively minimal. There will be an impact, but it will be in the evening from 9 PM to 5 AM.
And it's not every night.
And you'll know ahead of time, like Julie mentioned, with our look-aheads.
And the other thing too, MassDOT does not want to shut the roadway down during the middle of the day, early mornings of the day. They are adamant. We've been on other projects that we are dealing with, Route 1A, further down, Route 60. There was an issue with getting the roadway paved, and the contractor wanted to shut the roadway so they could do it all day long, and MassDOT said no. They
It's
will
part of
not
the
allow
reason
that.
why this is gonna take a little bit longer is
Okay.
because we are making sure to not disrupt traffic during those peak hours. Yes?
When do you plan on having this project finished?
It's on,
Well, I know, I'm just thinking of the
2027,
bridge down the
good
road
question.
piece. No, not General Edwards, the Fox.
Oh, right. So this will be done in November of '27.
Will you be working on this the same time they're working on the bridge?
The bridge, well, the bridge is general repairs right now. Is that,
She's talking about the other bridge, not.
No, and now I'm talking about the General Edwards Bridge. Are you gonna be working on this project the same time this
I'm
one?
not even sure I'm gonna be alive by the time we work on it.
Me neither. Me neither. That's why I'm planning.
At least 10 years down the road.
There is some MWRA work happening right now.
tell us about it.
And,
It's in front of her.
oh, okay. So that work is, they're aiming to wrap up in March. So the bulk of that
No,
work will
May.
not correspond with that.
May.
Things are changed. They
It's
said
May.
I just heard March.
The end of April, beginning of May.
Let's call it sometime this year.
And they said, we're running a little behind, and I said, you're running a lot behind. Okay, now, are the two projects gonna meet?
They only, they're close together, but they're not meeting, no.
No, okay.
Different contractors, different
Heard it first.
project.
and the reconstruction of the General Edwards Bridge is not even nearing 25% design. So by MassDOT standards, when they get a project at that design stage, that is when they have a public meeting. That's when you'll be notified that they're getting ready to do something. But usually that project is not gonna be constructed for another 3 to 4 years after that. So we have not seen anything yet for a 25% design. I don't think we're gonna see it this year, maybe next year, but I don't think it's happening in
I'm out with my
FY
breakfast, you can
'26.
tell.
You'll be lucky if you see it in FY '27, but so most likely, any bridge work here is probably just repair work that they have to do.
They won't be moving that bridge for at least 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they learned something from the 107 experience.
Exactly. And then you're talking another 30 to build it.
And come back and then,
What about the noise at night? How much noise?
well,
Good question.
the bulk of the evening work will be taking place, further from So, for this work, I think these two are areas that will have the most direct proximity to residents. It's my understanding
Three of
that.
them.
What's that?
3 of them. The 3 locations
Right.
will have a huge impact in noise, so.
Yeah, understood. But in terms of direct proximity to residents, these two have the closest. They're
Mine is the
folks'
third one.
backyard.
No, you're not there.
Here?
Yep.
No,
This
you're
is
not
a
there.
fire station, this is the bus stop.
Yeah, but it's across the street.
No, you're on this side. You're on this side.
Yeah, and no, I'm talking about noise. Noise is just held by a highway.
You're on here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's on.
Yeah, noise
this side.
travels through the air.
So, there won't be closures relative to
Not
this
there.
and relative to this. There will be closures relative to the
I'm not talking
ramps.
closure, I'm talking about the noise at night,
Yeah,
why they doing work.
understood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we don't go back to the closure.
Right.
How much noise
I don't
this
have a
project would
decibel.
generate at night? Because we are sleeping at night.
You're over here, man.
Yeah,
Now,
The work is on this side.
there's a building
Yeah,
right
it's
above.
fine. There is noise.
Gibson Point right above. What about that building? What about those people that live on that side?
They'll be impacted, not that
Yes.
side.
yeah, but how
Yeah.
much noise?
I
My
mean,
question, how much noise?
I don't
It's
have
a
a
very simple
decibel.
question.
It's hard to estimate how
What
much.
do you guys, what kind of equipment to bring? What are you doing? Is that piling, is that driving, is that excavator, is that trucks beeping at
We'll
night?
have excavators and paving machines out there working at night.
So that's beeping, backing up, so
Yeah, and it'll be from 9 to 5, and again, like they're trying to portray here, the 9
I
to
go to bed
5.
at 9, I wake up at 5.
Okay, the 9 to 5 thing is not a consistent basis. That's gonna be a minimal events, right? We're talking, not a consistent night work. This is a 7 to 3 job or 9 to 3 lane closures if needed during the day.
So you give me your phone number when I wake up, because the beeping I call you?
I'll be right there. You can walk out and see me.
Absolutely, I'll come see you.
Sure thing.
No, I need your card, I'm not joking.
I don't have a card.
So who are you?
Who am I? I'm the general superintendent for the contract.
So then you give me a card.
I don't have a card with me. I
Okay,
can.
give me your
I can
information.
Email Julie, she'll pass
Yeah,
it along.
absolutely. Because you guys have no answer for this.
You're asking me if a construction project will make noise.
And you're doing that, exactly, that's my point. And
Hold on,
you're
hold
doing it in the middle of the night.
Listen,
Can we put up a barrier wall, like a sound wall? Would that,
I
Okay,
don't
mitigate
believe
the
that's
noise?
feasible. And listen, I'm.
So you tell me a construction site will generate noise, because it's obvious,
Right.
but you're doing it in the middle of the night, and nobody cares about people sleeping and waking up and going to work, kids going to school, babies.
Listen, I don't want to discount it either. I
You just
understand
did.
that. Right, but I don't have a measure of the decibel levels. I think we're adults in the room here, and we understand it's a construction project, and there will be noise that this entails, okay? And we will work to minimize that noise. We will work to minimize impacts to abutters, but I'm not gonna lie to everybody in the room and tell you there won't be noise from time to time. It is a construction project. We want to be mindful of those impacts. We want to work with you all as a community, with your counselor, through the mayor's office, as to how we can conceivably work to minimize those impacts. We are not going to eliminate them. And you
How
know
long
that.
is the project? 18 months?
It's an 18-month project.
18 months, so you tell me there's gonna be work overnight from 9 to 5 for 18 months.
It's not every night. The work shift is 9 AM to 5 PM during the day. There's going to be 3 nights where the road is, there will be some overnight work. But right now, most of the work is during the day,
Okay.
okay? So you're
So-
not gonna be impacted every night of the week.
Yes,
with noise.
the general logistics for the project is to build the project during the day as much as we can. They'll be out there 7:30 to 3, Monday through Friday, right? The overnight closures of the ramps are intended to allow the contractor to connect the new work to the old work. So they're not coming in to build the work, to build the project overnight. Those are for connecting the old to the new.
And how much of the project we talking?
I don't know.
Percentage, 10%, 20%, 5?
I'd say 10% would be my estimate.
Those connections are very minimal, and we'll work during the day to do as much as we possibly can to make those minimal connections at night.
Yeah, I mean-
That's our goal as a contractor.
Right, and the
Right, we
work,
don't want to work at night, just like we don't want to disturb you at night.
the product's better when they work during the day,
100%.
the materials are better, it's, you know, that's the intention.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, what hours will they not be working?
They will, the shift is 7 to 3:30, 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. is their general shift. If they want to work later, they would have to get permission. If they want to work, close the ramps like we've been talking about, they have to get permission first. If they want to work outside of their permit, they have to get permission for that too, so.
What hours would they not be working?
I would
If they're working
say-
9 to 5 at night for closures, and they're working 7 to 3 during the day.
It's
Well,
9 to 5 or roughly 10% of the project time, so it's not continuously 9 to 5.
And if we do work at night, our crew will work at night, not during the day, usually is how we perform our work, right? Our crew is pretty centralized to this job. It's gonna be the same crew, so if we go into night work and we end up at night work to do the tie-ins at ramp A coming down through there, which we have to for 2 tie-ins. There's 2 critical tie-ins that we have to close the ramp. And we can't do those during the day and close the ramp during the day. Nobody will be able to travel during the day. So when we do those closings, our crew will transfer to nights. They'll be at night for a few nights to make those tie-ins, and then the crew will move back to days, and we'll continue working during the days, right? The night thing is being overplayed right now because it's very, very minimal night work, right? So it's just for critical tie-ins to control traffic, right? There's less traffic at night. It helps us be safe for our guys working. So that night stuff is gonna be minimal for
If
us.
there was a lot of night work on the project, there'd be some premium time. It would be accounted for financially. It's not accounted for. So the project is going to be run 90% as a daytime, Monday through Friday project.
I have a question. Have you made arrangements for the crews and where they're going to be parking? Do you have designated spots for the crews?
We are currently still working through that with Mass DOT. I mean, they have, we have some permits that we're trying to get to obtain parking on Mass DOT property and stuff like that, but.
That will be really helpful.
Yeah, that's
designated
right now, and for the time being, our crew trucks will be in the work zones that were highlighted in green. So we'll be within there so we don't impact you guys in the community and in the busy park over there, so.
And if you do, you'll hear from us. And I know we had some issues with the Gibson Point project, and that wasn't under our jurisdiction, this is. And we're going to make sure we do that right. Doesn't mean we're gonna be perfect, I'm sure there'll be mistakes, that's why we wanna stay in communication.
And just so you know, around the Point of Pines and Riverside neighborhoods, there is no parking. There, no parking, especially on this side. Any of these streets are 24/7, no parking. So they will get ticketed. And I'm sure one of the residents will call me and I will make sure that they get ticketed, so, just so you know.
We're working on parking
Thank
for our
you.
guys and a whole laydown area for our guys to be in Mass DOT property.
Appreciate it, we got a team of professionals here, so thank you for
I've done
everything.
this a lot in a lot of communities, just to assure you guys, this is not our first rodeo with close proximity to housing.
Thank you.
And we'll do our best.
Thank you.
Yep.
During all phases, will the park and the community garden remain open?
Yes, well, during all phases of this project, we'll talk about the park in a second. Clearly, there's going to be work happening in close proximity to the community garden, so I think that's a consideration that you all have to make. But when we sign our contract with the Gibson Park contractor, which is Heimlich Landscaping, we're going to talk through what phasing will look like. It's our intent, and I can't make a promise until we execute a contract and we have a construction plan and all of that, but our intent is to keep the garden open during this next growing season. Yes?
So when the project is complete, if I'm coming back to the Point of Pines from Lynn, I'm going around the Rotary and underneath to get to the Point of Pines?
Yes.
Okay. Kind of like what it is now, except we have to go around the Rotary to get to that.
Go around, then you...
Okay, thank you.
Of course, the outdoor not over, but
Yeah.
that would be a complicated process.
Is that what that black line is? What is that black line? Can you
Oh,
explain that?
sidewalk.
That's, yeah, it's a shared use path, so it's basically a wider version of a sidewalk than currently, you access the park on this side. There'll be a wider shared use path, and then you'll access the park by crossing over here
After the roundabout?
after the roundabout.
Before the roundabout.
After the roundabout is constructed, but
Oh.
before you reach the roundabout.
Yeah, we're just
Where you cross.
talking about it from.
So if
different
people are
directions.
coming into the roundabout, they'd have to stop for the people crossing?
Yes.
With the design.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
This is only the first meeting I've been to. This is all being designed for buildings?
It's being designed for life safety improvements relative to the building. So
Wouldn't it be cheaper to put emergency lighting in and just have the fire department back up and go into the driveway there?
So that's one reason it's designed. The other reason is, and we'll get to it in a second, but we're also about to construct about a $2.5 million renovation of Gibson Park itself that'll include an all-purpose field that will be used much more heavily. And the intent there is to, one of the things we heard in the community in the meetings leading up to this project was that we wanted to minimize impacts on the Riverside neighborhood for folks that would otherwise drive through to get to the park. So this provides an alternative access point, which I'll get to in a second. I want to make sure there's no other questions about this as to how you get from here to this parking lot and to a new parking lot we'll be building at Gibson Park as well. So it's also to improve access to the park, and it improves safety operations at this off-ramp as well. I know roundabouts are not everybody's favorite topic, and I suspect that's because we have 3 of the worst, in my opinion, rotaries in the state. A rotary is very different than a roundabout, but Bell Circle, right, Copeland Circle, all the circles, right, they're awful. That's not what this is. This is, you could fit 5 of these roundabouts within Bell Circle, 5 or 6. It's much tinier in the grand scheme of things. I understand why people make that connection, but roundabouts like this do slow speeds. And you have a condition where traffic is slowed coming off of the off-ramp, as opposed to today where people are really streaming through, hitting that slip lane and speeding down the laneway. We want to make sure when people are getting off, they're taking a beat, they're slowing down, and they're protecting pedestrians on the laneway. Yes.
So speaking of the roundabout, could you make a comparison of this one to the one that I think most of us would be familiar with right up near Market Basket?
Yeah, that's what scares
I mean,
us.
I think that would work in Boston.
3 cars back up the entire circle.
It seems that roundabout works. It slows cars down.
Big time.
There might be some bit of a backup, but it moves.
Bob, have you seen the accidents over there?
I don't keep
They're-
a track of them, no.
The tractor trailers that have actually overturned, trying to get around it, that they had to make the roundabout smaller.
Yeah, but I think they're still doing a lot of construction out there.
They're
And I think-
making it smaller because tractor trailers were tipping over, trying to go around it.
Can't go around it. Yeah.
So now the sidewalk, that big giant sidewalk that's in the middle,
Yeah.
if you notice, it's being cut
Smaller.
because the trucks can't take that turn. They're really dangerous. I personally don't like them, but I know this is coming. So I just want at least all of us to be aware of what's happening step by step, but I personally don't like them either, so.
And to be aware of how this is different, right? So I don't know how many tractor trailers we have in the Point of Pines right now.
No, none,
But so I think
But like I said,
it's.
there's at least 30 a month coming southbound.
Yeah, there's a lot more trucks than.
But they'll
So-
just stay on 1A.
Right.
Yeah, the idea is,
Oh, so you don't have to go, okay.
No,
we-
they don't.
as Robbie had mentioned, we designed it for different turning radii, different vehicle types. It's certainly designed for that, but it is primarily designed for smaller vehicles and for neighborhood streets, because you're getting off that highway and you're going down a neighborhood street, we want to make sure people recognize that.
It's all, just to clarify, if a vehicle is on 1A south, with the intention to continue 1A South, they never get off 1A South.
Okay.
That's
And this will make it harder for them,
Right.
if they think they're gonna snake around, use
There's-
the boulevard.
The only reason people
Yeah.
would do this is to cut through.
Cut through. So
They
this-
need to stay on the highway, that's highway traffic, that's not neighborhood traffic.
Right.
Yes?
So a multi-pronged question for you. First of all, what is that sidewalk that goes from the off-ramp up to the right-hand side, that black line? What is the purpose of that? Up top? No, just that one. What is the purpose of that one? Just the top one?
Right, so that would be to continue on to Gibson Point. So if folks from Point of Pines wanted to go to the restaurant at Gibson Point, they could continue on. Right, but
When it opens.
honestly, if one of the big reasons it closed is because access is a real pain both for pedestrians and cars. It's very difficult. We can debate the merits of that, but access is difficult. Running a restaurant is difficult to begin with. This didn't make it any easier. So you can access the park, you can access the grounds at Gibson Point, but that's what it's for. It's primarily
Well,
to
the only way to
ensure.
access the park is to go across the crosswalk right in back of the roundabout.
Correct. I meant the grounds of Gibson Point
I'm
itself.
talking about now, I'm talking about the park itself.
Right.
In order to access the park, you would have to cross right by the roundabout, further up, right there.
Correct.
Okay. Now, cars coming off the highway of 1 South, do we have a stop sign before the cars enter the roundabout?
It's a yield.
Yeah, so in
It's
a
a
roundabout,
yield.
you would have a
Sorry?
yield.
It's a yield condition. Vehicles,
And how many cars really
entering
yield?
vehicles yield to vehicles in the roundabout.
Okay, I would probably tend to say that I would want a stop sign there to prevent cars from continuing on right around the roundabout and somebody walking across that crosswalk.
Kids.
Like a blind spot.
There are beacons there.
So I would prefer to see a stop sign there. The other thing is, what is that, all that green space to the right-hand side of the exit? Right there, no, all the green space, go to your left, right there.
Mhm.
What are we doing with that?
Nothing at present.
I'm sorry,
Nothing,
just grass?
just grass.
Okay. No parking, no, okay. Landscaping, trees, anything?
Don't think so, I think that that area is gonna remain as is. We were not mandated to replace anything there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so whatever native is to that area will be there.
Final question. Cost of this project,
Roughly $8 million.
how much?
$8 million?
8? $26 or?
$26.
So the whole project was $8 million?
It's a small project. Yes.
I doubt that.
I
doubt it.
No.
You've heard about inflation in the news. Now you see it. Yes?
Will there be a sidewalk on the other side crossing the new ramp?
On this side,
Yeah, on that side.
there will not be a sidewalk on this side. The intent is to,
That will be the only sidewalk.
we can then expand the right-of-way a bit to have it, the current sidewalk on the other side is pretty narrow. So this allows us to widen that quite a bit to offer a safer crossing.
It will accommodate bicycles as well.
It will.
Yeah.
So how you widen it? Are you, because right now it's pretty narrow both sides.
It's just, we have more right-of-way to work with, so less widening for the most part.
Yeah, on the other side, there's more right of way, so we're able to,
On the actual, on the street itself?
yeah,
Or you take them from
there's
the-
more property available.
And you need the bridge?
Yeah, well, not under the bridge, but on the other side of the, on the same side, but past the bridge towards Linden.
So I'm trying to understand, like, if I'm going in front of the fire station,
Like on this side over here,
yeah,
there's more
so,
right of way. There's more property over here.
There's more MassDOT property and city property.
so right now if I look at the bridge, that is, you have the two
Yeah.
banks
Yeah.
kind of going sloping in towards the
Right,
street.
right.
Or the road.
Mhm.
So basically you're saying you're gonna take away those One side?
Yes, on this side here. Here, because of the on-ramp, we don't have as much room because we have to get the vehicles up higher, so we're
So this-
expanding on the
So
opposite
the
side.
sidewalk to get into the park is still on the park side, not on the other side, correct?
It's on the other.
It's on the other side.
Yeah, it's on this
So you're gonna
side.
have to cross the road to get to the park.
Correct.
You have to do
There's gonna be a
that.
stop, there's gonna be a button there, we yield, we're gonna stop traffic.
It's a roundabout, so
No, but I mean, cars.
So, but that's effectively gonna stop the traffic to let people cross.
no. A pedestrian being at the crosswalk would direct them to a yield condition like
So,
you normally
but
would.
there's gonna be a crosswalk, so there's gonna be a button so you can cross, right?
Yeah.
So
That's
how
what
is
it's
that?
gonna be, so it's actually gonna stop the traffic. from
No,
coming
no.
down.
No, it won't
There's no
speed,
button.
no, it's not a, doesn't turn, it's not a light, it's not a signal.
Do you understand how dangerous that,
from
hold
right
on,
now?
do you know how
across the
dangerous that
street
is
then?
though? That doesn't sound right, Tom, that, honestly, if you're, say you're crossing the street with your children, okay?
Yeah.
And you got kids coming, you got cars coming around that rotary. How are you gonna cross if those cars are not letting you by? You need something there, either it's a flashing light that says stop to pedestrians, or you need a button, a signal button, like we have all over Broadway for people to cross. You need something.
Go ahead, Robbie. Sure.
There's signage here for the crosswalks. The crosswalks are new. The roundabout is designed to slow vehicle speeds down, right? Slower speeds, more time to see pedestrians, more time for pedestrians to see vehicles. There's sight lines that are adequate. There's a refuge in the middle, if necessary.
So you're talking about that's coming from the south side, entering the rotary and coming out, or roundabout and coming this way. What about vehicles going in front of the fire station and entering the roundabout? So,
Over here?
yeah, so when you go there, they'd be speeding.
Trying to get up, yeah.
So how is that different from what's existing right now?
Well, it's different than what's existing right now because they speed up because they don't have anywhere they need to stop.
So
when
they
we-
no, that doesn't make sense. So they enter that road in front of the fire station, so automatically they're slowing down in front of the fire station. So if I'm crossing in front of the fire station, it should be safe too?
Here?
Yeah.
In this crossing here? Yes.
Actually, people are stopping to make the turn, so it's actually safer than the way you're presenting it right now.
But then.
Can I show you?
But you have, so.
No, I'll let me show you.
But then you have to cross the line. the
No,
southbound.
here you go.
So, if I
Let me show
could,
We saw, come up here.
please,
Sure.
please.
Bring it with me. So right now, cars come this way, so they have to stop to take a right turn. They come in this way, they gotta stop, take a left turn. So I'm safer crossing this way, going underneath the bridge, and there's nothing here, so I'm not crossing anything. Your way, it's this car's speeding, oh, all of a sudden, there's a roundabout, I'm gonna stop. I didn't see the kid crossing. See you later.
So,
Same thing from here, he's coming from around and trying to take the ramp or going this way, he's speeding.
so I did understand you, and.
I showed you this last time.
So, the difference between crossing here and crossing here is, at this spot,
Yeah,
the goal of the driver is to get as fast as possible to get onto Route 1A.
there is no ramp there.
But
They're
there
building it.
will be.
No, no.
I think that's part of the challenge is we're thinking about what's there today, not what will be there tomorrow. I agree, under today's condition, this is the better route. But you are going to have a situation here where the roundabout is designed to slow traffic. You're not speeding up to get onto the ramp because that's not going to get you
I
anywhere.
get why you're doing it right now for the future. It makes sense because you have a ramp right there. That totally makes sense. But what I'm saying is, this is supposed to be to make kids going to the park more safe.
Right, and that's why having them.
So that what you presented right now is not safe. No matter how you look at it, no matter how you're trying to come up with an excuse is safer, it is not safe. Especially if you don't have a light for people to press to cross the street.
Do you have a question?
That was something that I thought we saw in a previous presentation was a button with flashing lights? Is that not
Like a
happening?
beacon, but not, as he was suggesting, where traffic's going to stop.
Right.
That's not something we can accommodate.
But the beacon with the flashing lights, is that still happening?
We can explore that.
Tom, what about, like, we see in so many different places now, just flashing pedestrian signs.
Right.
And all sorts of flashing on and off. It doesn't necessarily stop traffic, it certainly alerts traffic. And follow-up question is, what will be the overhead lighting in the area? So if someone is crossing where the proposed crosswalk is located, and someone's doing that at nighttime to go to the park, what's the lighting going to be?
They have that in Canton. You press the button, it just makes it flash fast yellow. It doesn't make you stop.
Yeah.
It's just flashing yellow to slow
We
you
can
down.
explore it, if it's feasible, and if MassDOT allows it, we'll find a way to make it work.
And again, when I say lighting, I don't mean traffic control lighting, I mean overhead.
Street lights.
Ambient lighting.
There's a huge amount of street lighting going in.
22 new light.
22 new LED light fixtures going in. Some of the old ones will be removed, but it'll also be in partnership with the existing ones, but 22 new ones go in.
Even under the bridge, will they be there?
Under the bridge, there's a full light set that goes underneath the bridge. Yep, they're mounted up top.
22 new targets for cars to.
You got it, man.
Is there
Someone will have to
anything
repair all
that
those.
would be, is there anything that will be in the center of the rotary that would impede sightlines with pedestrian traffic?
Shouldn't be. No.
And what about the access to the Gibson Park when you drive in from the Bonafines?
So that's what I was aiming to get to, provided we're done with questions about the roundabout.
Just one more question. So what I've heard so far is no impact to traffic on the Linway, south or northbound, except for the times at nighttime when certain exits will be closed.
That's
Other
correct.
than that, no impact to traffic on the Linway in either direction, north or southbound. Is that correct?
With the exception of those ramp closures, yes.
Is it gonna be a change to the speed limit? Or is it gonna remain the same?
It will remain the same.
Thank you.
So can we talk about the traffic in the summer? Like, so if you're coming home from Boston and you go down the beach, and you probably sit in traffic for half an hour on Revere Beach trying to get down here during rush hour, how much longer are we looking at? So if I leave Boston at 5, and I get to Revere Beach, say at 5:30, 5:45, and I sit on Revere Beach for at least a half an hour, at least on a good night, trying to get down to here, how much longer are you adding on to my commute?
I don't believe we are.
So nothing.
Listen, we all live in the Boston area. Traffic is getting worse every year. So I can't, I don't believe there's reason to think we're adding to the traffic here. And we have engineering studies to back it up. I understand that traffic's getting worse, and it certainly feels that way. And I appreciate that.
The ramp going up onto southbound, yeah, it seems like that's being missed in what we're talking about. Let's just be clear that there's a new ramp going right there, and that's why the crosswalk is where it is. That ramp's where cars are gonna go now. It's a big slope right now. It's hard to see if you don't, it's a slope of dirt right now, and a new ramp's going in there pretty soon with a bunch of retaining walls to accommodate that ramp.
When they get it all said and done.
Any other questions? Okay, so, thank you, Robbie. So I'll touch on Gibson Park Access Road. This will connect the roundabout to Gibson Park. The park access to the south will be closed when this is opened. This project is not under construction, nor is it within the scope of Coachella's work. I'm just helping you all look ahead to the future. We have finished our MEPA filing, traffic studies, and done the geometric design. We have something called the Chapter 91 license we need to work on at the state level that is making this take a long time from a permitting standpoint. You'll see in a minute from a construction standpoint, it's a pretty simple, straightforward project. So basically, we'll be finishing up the permitting on the Gibson Park access as Coachella's team will be doing all of the roundabout work. So we're here currently, we'd anticipate advertising in early '27 and constructing in fall of 2027, and it'll be a pretty quick project. And we will have a meeting whenever, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm just helping you all look ahead. So here are the plans coming off of that, which essentially will have a road coming off of the Gibson Point access way, entering the park and the parking lot.
And,
So you went to the Rotary, you go to the Gibson Point, then from the Gibson Point you go to the Gibson Park?
Just continue left.
Correct, correct.
So we gotta go inside that parking lot.
You don't go inside the parking lot.
No.
It's the approach to the parking lot.
Surface drive.
All right,
It's
so
not very clear there. Is that the old drawing or is that a new one?
that's a new drawing.
So this is, coming from Lynn, so this is Lynn. So you're gonna go inside, so you can, all right, so you go inside the Rotary. Not gonna run, but this is the Rotary.
Yeah, and you're going counterclockwise around.
Is this a new picture, is this a new picture, or is this is a new picture, right?
which one? Yeah. Well, except for the yellow part.
Yeah, no, but I mean, this is existing, that's Gibson Point.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going around.
So could you show us on that one?
No, you're not.
I mean, it might be, this is more visual than, okay,
You're
yeah,
gonna
show
exit
us
the
on that
Rotary, enter
one.
the Gibson Park, then go to the Gibson Park.
All right, so
Let's see it on this one.
Yeah, sure.
it'd basically be coming off of here and going through.
Can you zoom in on that section, please?
This is not, by the way, I put this on.
I know it's not up to scale.
It's not up to scale. All right, but essentially coming off around here and going through.
Yeah, so you exit, basically, you are in the roundabout, you exit the roundabout, then you make a kind of a loop.
Correct. That's because MassDOT didn't allow us to add another leg to the intersection, or to the
Yeah,
roundabout.
because you only allowed certain number of,
Right. So the more legs you add to the roundabout, the more unsafe it is for cars and for pedestrians, right? So they wanted to control the amount of legs we had, and then have the access point come off of that. So you are entering towards Gibson Point, but you're not in the parking lot. You're coming right off, and then you'll go through.
but you also cross in the traffic coming from the Gibson Point entering the roundabout.
Yes. Let's stay loud.
Again, so who cares about those accidents at Gibson Park? Kids or cars? So basically, right now it's not, so whatever you're presenting is not helping anyone to access the Gibson Park. Kids or cars? Because it's more dangerous for kids with this project to access the Gibson Park, and more likely people would hit or have an accident going to the Gibson Park from the Point of Pines. Because now they're gonna go around that roundabout, kind of up a little bit, then cross traffic coming from the Gibson Point. Is that like it's gonna be a light, or it's gonna be,
It's gonna be an access road as shown.
again, there is no design, there is no plans, there is nothing presented.
It's right here.
So I don't,
I mean,
everything keeps changing.
Remarkably, it stayed the same from when we've spoken previously, including the back and forth
Because
about
the
whether or
original
not
plan
it's
was
the
to
right
have access to the
option.
Gibson Point, to the Gibson Park from the roundabout, but then you guys figured out that you don't have enough legs to access that, then the land over there is an issue with the land.
Listen,
So the whole thing shifted from having a safe access and helping the neighborhood to now, am I wrong?
I don't
If
think,
I'm wrong, please let me know.
I haven't really had a chance to respond, have I?
Okay.
I think we've had enough of debate of this, and I'd like to see everybody have a chance to get home for dinner tonight. I'm not sure we're gonna resolve this question to your satisfaction, so I'm gonna keep on moving. Yes? Yes.
Yeah, I'm the garden, I'm one of the principals of the community garden. Just, so I'm getting the sense that it's not gonna make it through this season, yes, but the season after that. That's when it's gonna be paved over. And that this whole access road thing will come, during phase 3, whatever. End of phase 2 into phase 4.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. So what we'll talk about in a second, as long as there's no other questions about the access road, we'll talk about the park project. And it's our intention. I
actually did have a
I just want to address the question.
Oh, I do have a question about the access road. It seems awful, number one is, sorry, I lost it. It seems awfully wide compared to the, and, but I can't really read the numbers. That's a side question.
12-inch or 12.
How do I get back up?
So pretty standard width.
Well, it seems much wider than the entry from the other way, which admittedly is a really old construction. Will there be an electronic version of this available? Because I need a microscope to.
Yeah, you do.
If you're on our mailing list, once you get added to it, we'll share all that, and it'll be available on our website as well.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to go on record to say that one of my major concerns is pedestrian traffic of kids and older people getting from Point of Pines safely to Gibson Park, because my grandkids are back and forth all the time. They're with all their friends doing this, and I'm very concerned about the safety factor. I think, that has to be a priority. What are we going to do to make sure that clearly these kids and older people are safe going over from the neighborhood?
Is a rotary here?
This is a rotary right here.
So
no, that's the existing offering.
Okay. Listen, I don't live in the neighborhood. I have 3 young children. I've taken my children to this park before using the existing access point. I've pushed my kids in the stroller through that underpass. I don't believe what is there today is entirely safe.
Well, I don't think so.
And so the intent here, just to, as I'm pushing my kid in the stroller, I have my other kid beside me, and I'm worried about cars careening off of 1A, and it's a very narrow width. So what we intended to do here is a couple things. We added width to the shared use path.
Yeah, well,
we do have a crossing.
There's a new ramp.
We have a crossing where on a roundabout people are slowing down. And then we also have that the slip lane that we removed on the laneway. So if people are coming from the other side of the laneway, they can cross safely. Like today, that section of I ran across it, right? And there's no safe crosswalk. So we included safe crossings throughout. There is one crossing on the roundabout itself, and I know that people have stuck in their minds, and I understand this, how cars move when they're coming off of 1A today. But when you're entering the roundabout, they're designed for people to slow. So it is our goal throughout this project to ensure pedestrian safety and vehicle safety. I get that not everybody agrees that we're doing that. I hope you can trust that our intentions are in the right place, and we feel like this is backed up by engineering expertise, both with Howard Stein Hudson, and these were massed out requirements that came along with it. There are a lot of eyes on this project that feel like this will create a safer movement. I encourage you all to continue to communicate with us throughout if you feel otherwise, but I hope that you will find that to be the case, and that is certainly our intent and expectation.
So before you move on, I would request that every crosswalk has push buttons with flashing signs, so that as the cars approach that crosswalk, you have 3 crosswalk right in the roundabout, and you have one by the fire station. So I saw at least 4 crosswalks, and I'm seeing this additional road there, and I think there should be another one there, but besides that, I would want push buttons before anybody crosses, with flashing lights, so as the cars are approaching, they come to a stop, okay? Because without it, it's an accident waiting to happen. Okay?
So, because this is our project, but it's on MassDOT right of way, so everything we do needs their approval, which is why I can't make a commitment to you tonight. I can commit to discussing, figuring out the answer to that question and informing you all over a mailing list. But I can't make that decision unilaterally because nor can the counselor. We have to work with MassDOT, so.
It's critical.
Understood.
Should have been an overwalk.
Any other questions before we move on to the park? Yes, sir, in the back.
Gibson Park, Gibson Community Garden. Earlier, did I hear say that the garden is going to disappear in a couple of years?
It will not disappear. It'll be relocated. If it's all right with everybody, I'll go on to the park and I can show you what I'm referring to.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Okay, so Gibson Park renovation, the contract was awarded to Heimlich Landscaping. We're wrapping up construction this month. There was a holdup on this project, and he's not here tonight, but I feel like he deserves recognition. Representative Turco stepped up big for us. So we received an earmark that was supposed to cover the roundabout and the park. And we were working through state approvals. It took forever for both of them, especially for the park. And at some point in June, the state just stepped in and said, any money that has not been what they call encumbered, so budgeted for a project, they were going to just freeze all the rest of the earmark. And what that meant was we already knew exactly how much this was going to cost. They froze the earmark for the park. And we were in limbo for about 6 months, and I was a pain in the neck, so was Mayor Keith. And we were trying to get this money unlocked, and Rep. Turco stepped up and saved the day here. So we now have a park project again due to him, so we really appreciate his support. But that's why it took so long. Our estimate now, once we sign that contract, it'll be roughly 18-month construction cycle as well. Don't quote me on that because we don't have a contractor on site under contract yet. We can't talk about those things with them quite yet. We'll have a community meeting prior to construction. And then phase 2 is the boatyard remediation. We took that boatyard in 2021. It's got pretty dirty soil, and we need to get rid of that soil and ship it off somewhere else. So we are currently applying for funding from the EPA to get that, but that phase is secondary to this because we want to get moving on the work that we can. So the park project isn't different than the last community meeting we had, for those of you that saw it. We are relocating the community garden to beside the pickleball and the tennis courts. And the community garden will in all likelihood be relocated before that next growing season. What I can commit to you, and I can't tell you exactly when or how, but we're going to do our best to try to get that done on the early side of things so you all can have a garden in the next growing season. We don't know until we have somebody under contract.
By the next growing season, you mean 27?
Pardon?
By the next one, you mean 27?
Yes.
Correct, yeah, so you should be good for this growing season unless
Right.
something changes, and we'll make you aware at that pre-construction meeting at the park itself.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Yes?
George?
Well, I'm not concerned about the move. I'm concerned about it ultimately being eliminated entirely.
It won't.
That won't happen.
It won't
That won't
happen.
happen.
Because this would be a good time to warn the city to keep their eye out for another spot.
It will not be shut down,
It
but I
won't.
promise you that.
It's in the plan.
Although we are adding another community garden in the Beachmont neighborhood as we speak, but.
We're in the Pines.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying, we're trying to do what we can to create more of those opportunities, but this garden's not going away.
Thank you, Tom.
And we appreciate the work that you all have been doing to keep the garden as a community asset. We intend for it to stay that way. Any other questions about the park itself?
Is the playground staying the same?
Playground staying the same.
We're not gonna upgrade it?
Not with the scope of this project, but timeline. Yes?
Is the ADA connection to Gibson Point, is that existing, or?
That'll be part of it as well.
Okay, so that's gonna be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
grateful not to talk about a berm with you all tonight.
So
Yes, Rob?
The new park will be a utility park soccer field as opposed to just a baseball diamond?
Correct, it'll be an all-purpose field, so you can still play baseball there, you can just play other sports as well.
Real turf or artificial? What type of turf?
It will be natural.
Oh.
Yeah, that was one of the environmental permitting conditions. They didn't want to see artificial turf because all those little things go off into the river.
Are they still planning on putting a driving range for golf?
The whatever you call it that's still there will remain, but there won't, yeah. I don't know what the practice golf area is, it's called there, so.
What about all the benches, the memorial benches, will they remain the same,
So,
in the same area?
some of them will have to be relocated, and when we have that meeting, the pre-construction meeting, where we'll bring Heimlich in like we did Pachella tonight, we'll talk about what we need to do, and we're not getting rid of them, we're just relocating them.
Yeah, you'll talk with the families that would
Absolutely.
donate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you all taking the time tonight. I encourage you again to make sure that you get on our mailing list, stay updated, and there'll be a few of these meetings in the months to come. I'll stick around for a little bit longer if people need to chat. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.